I love this town. And people sometimes ask why. There's nothing around, they say. Just fields and farms. No main street or library. No theater or restaurant. But that's fine. And sidewalks? Overrated. So what do you have, they say? Backyards and stars, kitchens, halls, and ceilidh barns. A place to eat, a place to sleep, and a place to make memories. You can see it now more than ever. Where there's love, you don't need anything else. And that's why this town, our town, is the heart of the island.
Hi, I'm Gordy McKeeman. These fellas back here are the Rhythm Boys. Here's a little bit of country boy rock and roll. You can tell I'm from the country, see I'm from out of town. I'm beginning to catch on, I'm letting my hair down. I've been a rockin', I've been a rollin'. Some folks gotta look foolish, let them make a fool out of me. I've worked in fields of cotton, I've worked in fields of corn, but I ain't seen nothing like it since the day I was born. I've been a rockin', I've been a rollin'. Some folks gotta look foolish, let them make a fool out of me. Some hillbillies started picking and everybody rock and roll. I've been rockin', I've been rollin'. Some folks gotta look foolish, let them make a fool out of me. Stay down to rock and roll. I've been a rockin', I've been a rollin'. Some folks gotta look foolish, let them make a fool out of me. Some folks gotta look foolish, let them make a fool out of me.
My name is Catherine McClellan. I am a singer-songwriter from PEI living in Egmont Bay and just west of Summerside. You know, PEI fills up the largest part of my heart. I can't get over its beauty, and being able to sit here and watch the leaves truly unfold from the trees, and all the different birds come by, and there's just so much nature here, and to be able to take it in during this time when I've been stuck in my house and just looking out the window, and I watch the snow melt, and now the leaves are out. Now the first, I live, there's a field right across from my porch, and just today I watched them come and pick up the hay bales, and I think things move at a slower pace, and there's still a sense of community in ways that I think can be lost in bigger places. And that, for me, that's what makes PEI so amazing, is just that at the heart of people here is a sense of connection and, I guess, really interconnectedness in a way that we all really need each other. In these times when everything shut down, you just realize how much you do need your neighbors. This is a song that I wrote for the fishermen of PEI. It's called The Tempest, and I wrote it thinking about all the lost fishermen. Every year there are capsized boats and fishermen that are lost to the sea, and it's such a hard job, and it never really occurred to me because I just really love to eat seafood. But all of those people out there working on the boats day after day, I'm very grateful to them. And in Tignitia, just off of North Cape, a couple of years ago, there was a boat that capsized, the Kayla Ann. And with it, 3 fishermen were on board. The youngest, Tanner Goody, was able to get off the boat and swim to shore. It took him an hour and a half just to hit the shore, and the other 2 didn't make it back. It took him another while longer to walk and find some help. He found that at the local restaurant, the Wind and Reef restaurant. And it was then that the community really jumped into action and went looking day after day after day for those 2 lost fishermen. And for me, watching from afar, it just seemed like the whole island jumped into action. Everybody came together, and the fishermen went out day after day in their boats, and people gathered in the community to help all the folks who were just dealing with so much grief. And, these are the moments in our communities that I think it shines brightest on just how amazing it is to live in a small place. And I feel very lucky to be from PEI and live in a small community, because when you need somebody, they're there for you right away. And so in these times when we all need somebody, I feel very, very fortunate to be here on the island. Shore, my love, how far from shore, my love, has the wind carried me? How far from shore, my love, how far from shore, my love, has the wind carried me? Oh, watch the wildest waves. Oh, watch the wildest waves carry me away from you. Oh, watch the wildest waves. Oh, watch the wildest waves carry me away from you. Oh, watch the wildest waves fall on us by light and moon. Oh, pray the sun to rise and winds to die down soon. If I ever make it back to shore, I know just what I'll do. I will never let the wind or waves take me away from you. How shall I return? How shall I return to you, my dearest love? How shall I return? How shall I return to you, my dearest love? Oh, watch the wild wildest waves fall on us by light and moon. Oh, pray sun to rise and winds to die down soon. If I ever make it back to shore, I know just what I'll do. I will never let the wind or waves take me away from you. Oh, watch the wildest waves fall on us by light and moon. Oh, pray the sun to rise and winds to die down soon. If I ever make it back to shore, I know just what I'll do. I will never let the wind or waves take me away from you.
My name is Pepito Pinto. I am originally from Jamaica. In high school, I actually wasn't musical in any sense, I would say, but steel drums came to my school and my grandmother signed me up for it. And it was my first musical experience. And it also, it opened me up to a whole new world for me. I'll be playing a special instrument called the handpan. This instrument is maybe about 20 years now old. I find it very, for me, very spiritual in some sense. So the song I'm going to play today is called A Hero's Journey. This song I created, it's for people, pretty much for everyone, that go beyond and try to do something heroic, for someone they love and appreciate. I've met many people in my life that, that helped me along my way, and for me they were heroes because I've learned a lot and they've taught me a lot, a great deal in life. Yeah.
I got lost in my own life and confusion, not fully aware of who I really am, staring at the walls I built around me, trying to claw myself out of this self-made prison cell. Tied down to this chair, watching my life pass me by. Don't know where the ropes come from, don't care to know why. Like a car with no headlights driving through the night. I'll make it home, I'll make it home, I'll make it home. Cold and alone, walking deserted roads, and I'm so out of my mind, I don't know what street I'm on. Take a good look at myself, notice I'm not doing too well. I'm losing weight, the color's draining from my face. Tied down to this chair, watching my life pass me by. Don't know where the ropes come from, don't care to know why. Like a car with no headlights driving through the night. I'll make it home, I'll make it home. Tied down to this chair, watching my life pass me by. Don't know where the ropes come from, don't care to know why. Like a car with no headlights driving through the night. I'll make it home, I'll make it home, I'll make it home.
So as a young boy growing up in Morel, Prince Edward Island, a young boy who started his life in Toronto and then moved to Morel, a lot of things were different. No, let me rephrase that. Everything was different. But one thing that was particularly different was the level of connection between the community and the church. Now, I grew up in what was then known as Morel Rear. It's now known as Green Meadows. Now, Morel Rear was completely Catholic, and we had a church in our community, and virtually everything centered around the church because, quite frankly, there was nothing else in Morel Rear but houses and a church, so everything was associated with the church. Now, Morel itself, they had more of a mix, but again, predominantly Catholic. So the church became something that I had to learn about quite a bit. I had to figure out the role that the church played in the community. And although it was multifaceted and the church played a number of roles in the community, one thing that I did find very interesting was how the community treated digging a grave. Now, in most cultures, digging a grave would be a somber kind of event. But in Morel, and I think most of PEI, digging a grave was actually something that was a social event and that the men enjoyed going to because the guys could stand around, and as we all know, men gossip every bit as bad as women, and it was an opportunity for men to get together, and digging the grave was the excuse to get together. So it was a bit of a deal. I didn't know that beforehand, but I learned that. So as I grew up, got older, into my teens, I became a candidate for those grave digging events because although the men liked to talk, they didn't so much like to dig the grave. So they take some younger guys in to do that. And then this one particular day, I was invited to dig a grave in Morel. Now, it was funny because there was about probably 12 or 13 men that were gathered, and I was the youngest. And so we were digging the grave, and some of the guys would dig, and I'd be digging all the time. And there was a wide cross-section of our community in there. But one guy that was there was the local bootlegger, Phil Cullen. Now, Phil has since passed away, but Phil never went to church. So I wondered, why would Phil be digging a grave? And then I realized it's a social event. It's a time for him to get out in public. And being the bootlegger, who knows? It could have been a marketing opportunity to get out into the community and spread his word and advise people of his products that he had for sale. Anyway, we were digging the grave, and it was a nice afternoon. Now, the priest in Morel at the time, we had a number of priests since I've been there, Father Butler, Father Cameron, Father Egan, and the list goes on. But this particular year or time, it was Father Cameron who was the priest. And it was early on in his tenure as our priest in Morel. Now, Father Cameron had come from St. Dunstan's University, where he was a mathematics teacher or professor. I think he was actually the principal there. And he spent his entire career bossing around young Catholic boys. And that management style never really left him. That's kind of the way he functioned as the parish priest. He was quite opinionated, and it was usually his way or the highway. So anyway, the day we were digging the grave, we were just about done, and then all of a sudden, who do we see coming but Father Cameron, dressed completely in black and with his gray hair slid over his forehead, kind of like Hitler, and he walked out. Now, we knew that we weren't going to get any praise from Father Cameron, none at all. We knew that he would find deficiencies that he would point out. We were just hoping that there wasn't so many deficiencies that we'd have to start again or something like that. So as Father Cameron approached the gravesite, Phil Cullen, the bootlegger, was in the hole. And he saw the priest coming, and he decided he was going to watch what happened. So what did Phil do? He reached into his pocket and rolled himself a cigarette, and he's standing in the hole leaning on his shovel, smoking this cigarette. Now, Father Cameron comes over, not a smile on his face, and he looks around at the hole, trying to find problems. And he does find a few issues. You put an awful lot of dirt on that headstone there. I said, yeah, well, we'll be taking that off. And what about this? Are you sure it's the right size? We don't want to get here tomorrow during the funeral and have the darn thing not fit. Well, I said, listen, we followed the frame, so if it fit before, it should fit again. Now, all the adult men had their heads down. They were hoping that Father Cameron would come and go and not give them any direct criticism. Now, Phil really wasn't worried about it at all because he didn't go to church. So Father Cameron wanted to make sure that he kind of exercised his dominion over everybody that was there. So his criticisms were sharp and everybody felt the barb of his criticism except Phil. And this didn't suit Father Cameron because he had no jurisdiction over Phil. And Phil was in the hole smoking his cigarette. And as he took a big drag, all of a sudden Phil started to cough. Now, Phil smoked a lot of cigarettes and he had a bad cough. So he's down in the hole. And that's all that Father Cameron wanted. He had no jurisdiction over Phil from a religious perspective, but he wanted to give him a couple of digs. So Father Cameron looked at him down in the hole, looked straight down at him. He said, look at you, Phil Cullen. Look at you, a man of your age, and the money that you've put into it. And all you've got to show for it is that hateful, hateful cough that you have. My God, you should be proud of yourself, Phil. You've given yourself quite a cough over the years, haven't you? So Phil, never to be stuck for words, took a big drag of the cigarette, and he looked up at Father Cameron. And he said, you know what, Father, I'll tell you one thing right now. And what's that, Phil? And Phil looked down, he was in the grave, and he said, there's a bunch of the lads down here wouldn't mind having my cough. And that was the sharp response from Phil Cullen. Father Cameron turned on his heels and never said another word.
Hey there, I'm Ashley Condon, and this is a song that I wrote with my dear friend and mentor, David Francie. We were talking about, our lives and how at the end of our life, all we can hope for is to look back and not have any regrets and to have done the things and said the things that we wanted to do. And I think it applies to this time as well, because as we've been in this time of COVID, I've been kind of taking stock of my life and what's important and, what are the things that truly bring me joy. And it could have been all of the isolation and time spent alone reflecting, but I've definitely come out of this time with a fierceness to be in the moment and to love more deeply and to wash my hands, of course. This is called World of No Regrets. mountaintop, sky high, down by the riverside we lie. We follow the river down to the sea, the stars above and you and me. Down by the ocean, hand in hand, you and me, baby, on the silver sands, watching that sunset go down low, watching that sunset go down slow. All the years we could have spent down in the valley of arguments, all the tears we could have wept, drowning in a river of regret, drowning in a river of regret. Out on the seas we sail on, the fair winds will carry us. Sun in the sky, blue above, riding on the tailwinds of love. All the years we could have spent lost in the waves of arguments, all the tears we could have wept, blowing in the winds of regret, blowing in the winds of regret. Over the horizon we go, never gonna get there, we know. Nothing's gonna stop us, I guess nothing's gonna stop us. All the years we never spent walking in a world of arguments, all the tears we never wept for walking in a world of no regrets. All the years we never spent walking in a world of argument, all the tears we never wept for walking in a world of no regrets, walking in a world of no regrets, walking in a world of no regrets.
Hey there, folks. We're the Fiddler's Sons. You know, during this time, like so many other times in my life, I'm reminded of just how lucky I am to be from Prince Edward Island. You know, it could be in the coming months that Islanders have to pull together to help each other through. With that thought in mind, I'd like to sing you a song that I wrote, because it's all about pitching in to help out your neighbors. It's called Let Her Send.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When I was young, I had a saying that you may seldom never hear. I got a song here to explain it, so sit you down and lend an ear. It's good advice to keep your back straight, give your knees just a little bend, and take a grip here, will you, buddy? Give us a lift and let her send. Let her send, boys, let her send, boys. Give a lift, boys, and let her send. Just lend a hand out to your neighbor and see the job through to the end. Yes, it's true, these times we're living in can make a stranger of a friend. So don't be shy, give it a try, boys. Give us a lift and let her send. There was a time of farming families, nowadays it's in decline. We turned our hands toward hard labor, we worked the fields and felled the pine. You had to look no farther than next door to find some help you can depend. You do the same when it was your turn to give a lift and let her send. Let her send, boys, let her send, boys. Give a lift, boys, and let her send. Just lend a hand out to your neighbor and see the job through to the end. Yes, it's true, these times we're living in can make a stranger of a friend. So don't be shy, give it a try, boys. Give us a lift and let her send. The younger generation, they finish school and come of age. A lot of them will leave the island They're heading west to earn their wage. Now fellas, don't forget where you're coming from. Don't be afraid to buck the trend. No matter where or what your job is, give us a lift and let her send. Clap your hands, boys, clap your hands, boys. Give a lift, boys, and let her send. Just lend a hand out to your neighbor and see the job through to the end. Yes, it's true, these times we're living in can make a stranger of a friend. So don't be shy, give it a try, boys. Give us a lift and let her send. Let her send, boys, let her send, boys. Give a lift, boys, and let her send. Just lend a hand out to your neighbor and see the job through to the end. Yes, it's true, these times we're living in can make a stranger of a friend. So don't be shy, give it a try, boys. Give us a lift and let her send. Don't be shy, give it a try, boys. Give us a lift and let her send.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Brennan Gallant, j'ai 16 ans et je suis un étudiant à l'école François Biot de New Glasgow à l'île du Prince-Édouard. So I started playing guitar when I was 10, so about 6 years ago. And we had an acoustic guitar at the house at the time, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do at the time, so I practiced it like a little bit. And I was mainly learning like rock on an acoustic guitar. So I started saving up for an electric guitar, and we had help from like Hot 105.5 to sell wood, and then I made a bunch of money to buy my first electric guitar. And with that, I probably played the electric guitar for about 3 years. I still play the electric guitar quite a bit, but then just like out of YouTube, with the help of YouTube, I just kind of discovered new ways of playing the guitar. And when I discovered fingerstyle, I thought, well, like I already have an acoustic guitar, so I could try that. It's pretty cool, like you use everything. And now I just find that it's like more of a way to use the whole guitar for what it is. And it's like what I find the most fun to play. And I'm going to keep going with fingerstyle guitar. So this song is called Running in the Spring. And it was my second song ever composed. And the idea of the song, it's called Running in the Spring. So we filmed it in a field. And it's really just to like capture the emotion of being free and not having any worries.
Kwe, Jalasi, and Deloisi Julie. Hello and welcome. My name is Julie. I am so proud and pleased to be a part of this entertainment for you today. I will be sharing a few stories that I hope you will enjoy. Walaleo, thank you. Long, long ago, in this beautiful land of Mi'kma'ki, there was a year where there was no summer. Our Mi'kmaq people here started to get very sick because they only had enough food to last for the winter. And when May came, they were getting very short on food. June and July, they were starting to starve. So they prayed every night for the Creator to come and help them. And one day he heard them, and he sent Glooskap to come and get them and help them. And when he came, he looked around, and he saw that winter was still in this land, and he said, "What is happening?" And they said, "We are starving, Glooskap. We can't hunt, we can't fish, and we have no food." Well, Glooskap said, "That is okay. I shall go and fight winter." So off he went. He went searching here and there, and finally he found winter. And I'm pretty sure it was around Charlottetown area that he was there. And he was swirling the wind and the snow and the ice up in the air. And he says, "Winter, I have come to fight you. It is time for you to leave." But Winter looked and he said, "I don't want to leave. I guess we are going to have to fight." So arm in arm, they battled back and forth and back and forth, and they were both so very strong. But Winter had a secret weapon. Deep inside his lungs was the coldest of winter, and he took a deep breath, and he blew on Glooskap, and Glooskap froze solid and fell to the ground. Gwimu, the loon, heard and saw what happened and cried out to Glooskap. And somewhere it started to warm up Glooskap, and he opened his eyes and he crawled to the shore where he called out, "Whale, Whale, please come and help me." And Whale came just close to the shore as he could, and Glooskap jumped on his back, and they sailed south for days upon days, and the air came warmer, and in the distance he could see an island with beautiful green trees and birds of many shapes and colors. And he went into that island, and there was a small grove of trees, and 3 beautiful maidens were dancing there. And he looked and said, "Will one of you maidens please come and help me, help my Mi'kmaq people?" One of those maidens agreed, and they jumped back on top of the whale and traveled north for days upon days. Now finally they found the spot where Winter was hiding again, and I think it was around the area of Summerside this time. And he was swirling the ice and snow again, and Glooskap said, "Winter, it is time for you to go." And Winter said, "I don't want to fight you again. That took a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of time. I don't want to fight you again." So he went to take a deep breath of the coldest of winter. But just as he was about to blow on Glooskap, the beautiful maiden came from around from behind and blew her warm breath and melted Winter away. And then she blew her breath here and there, and slowly the snow and ice began to melt, and the warm breezes started to flow all over Mi'kma'ki. And Glooskap looked at her and said, "Please, will you come here every year and blow your warm breath on this area so that it can be warm again?" And that beautiful maiden agreed. And he said, "I shall call you Summer." And every year, Summer comes back to the beautiful land of Mi'kma'ki, where she blows her warm summer breezes, so that we will never have a year where there is no summer again. Or so the story goes.
Hey, Richard Wood, international touring artist from Prince Edward Island. Our musical community here, very much like other provinces, but especially here in PEI, is very close knit. You know, and people like, I mean, you know, they got each other's backs, and it's amazing to see there's so many different styles of music, and that we have on such a small island, but all brought together. It's a combination of a lot of different things, but I definitely think of you know, my musical, you know, comrades, and I really think of family, and such a closeness and a connection that's really near and dear to my heart, you know. Yeah. There's so many people that have got to follow my career and watch me grow up, you know, right before their eyes, from a dancer into instrumentalist, and it's really quite something. And I still have people come up to me, and if I'm going to play at a nursing home or something, and these people will come up to me and they'll, Rich, I remember when you were 8 years old coming to, you know, the Whisperwood Villa to perform for us, and there's things like that really, really touch you deep in the heart.
Allô, mon nom est Pastel Leblanc, puis je fais partie du groupe Vichten. Je vous présente la pièce L'Ermite. C'est une chanson traditionnelle qui a été collectée à l'île du Prince-Édouard. Donc, ça fait probablement proche de 300 ans qu'elle est ici avec nous autres. This piece is called L'Ermite. It's a song about a hermit who goes for a walk and meets this beautiful lady and decides to bring her to her house and show her all his beautiful things. And she asks him to borrow him money, which she says she's going to pay back, but she never returns to see him. It's one of those beautiful Acadian love songs.
Elle a pensé tout autrement. Ermite, laissez-moi donc aller dans votre jardin, j'y reviendrai. Il s'en retourne à son jardin. Adieu Céleste, oui tu t'en vas comme une perdrix qui s'envole avec mon argent.
This song is called Golden Days. I wrote it after I watched Stompin' Tom Connor's funeral on TV, and he was talking about how there should be more songs written about here where we live in Canada. So I wrote about my favorite place in PEI, which is Lakeside Beach. And it's just a call to all those who had to move away out west for work to remind them to come home and relax a bit and enjoy the beauty of nature and the simplicity of life on Prince Edward Island. And yeah, so this is for Lakeside Beach. It's called Golden Days. I heard you were colorblind. Now everything you see is red. You were looking for the sunset, but all the numbers got to your head. Maybe you should come on home, 'cause you've been saying it for so long, that the buildings surround you, and the city, it drowns you. Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long, let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home, where the gritty sand makes you feel born again. All the bad things you lived through and the good things you didn't do, they get washed away when the sun hits your face, when you're diving in the waves. Yeah, these are the golden days. By the piping plovers, where you told her you loved her. We were running with the tide, seeing life through our childish eyes. Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long, let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home. Daydream all night. Take her hand, make it right. Where the dunes wrap around the bay, it can take your breath away. Where the colors all bleed, where the sky meets the sea, and you dive in deep with your friends all around, skipping stones to the sea. Never want the sun to go down, but when the stars come out, everyone gathers round and they talk to the flame. Yeah, these are the golden days. And when there is a break, we all listen to the waves, 'cause the sound of the shore can take you out of the darkest place. Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long, let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home. Daydream all night. Take her hand, make it right. Ooh, yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long, let the water lift you, let the water lift from the city's undertow. Maybe you should come home.
My name is Tim Chasen, and I am originally from Bear River, PEI. I grew up in a pretty big family, and the Chasen family from up east, there's too many, too many of us, really. But yeah, for some reason, you know, like 7-8 generations ago, the fiddle was, you know, a big part of family. And, you know, my dad always tells me stories of, you know, his father and his great-grandfather. For some reason, it just kind of kept getting passed down because music essentially is what kind of kept a lot of people together during such hard times. And you know, getting together, dancing, playing music kind of allowed everyone to forget about, you know, the troubles that they had. But yeah, I'm grateful for that, you know, opportunity to have that, like, music kind of, you know, encouraged to keep up and keep going. And yeah, just happy to kind of carry it along, because it generally kind of makes me feel happier whenever I listen to, you know, upbeat tunes. And So yeah, grateful for that. These next tunes that I'm going to play are two tunes that my father wrote, Kevin Chasen, and two of my favorite tunes actually that he's written, I would say. The first one is called Chloe and Addie's Reel, after his two granddaughters, which are my two nieces. And the next one is a pretty classic PEI tune called Carter Mackenzie's Reel.
This song is called Where Everybody Knows Your Name, and I wrote it about how small Prince Edward Island feels and how everybody knows, your neighbor and your friend, and everybody's in each other's business all the time. And it's pretty great, feels pretty sweet. It's written from the perspective of somebody who has been working out west and is finally moving home.
Great red sand, took the ferry across the strait. I'm going to the place where time stands still and everybody seems to know your name. I left the hustle of the city life, left and laughed behind, left all my friends that I made out west, and I watched as the clock rewinds. From Tignish down to the harbor, I've been to every shore. When I think I've had too much to drink, well, they pick me right up off the floor. I'm headed to the general island, headed to a place I know. I've been away such a long, long time, but I'll always call this place home. And if they ask you, won't you tell them? If they ask you, won't you say, I'm going to the place where everybody knows your name.
took the ferry across the strait. I'm going to the place where time stands still and everybody seems to know your name. I left the hustle of the city life, left that life behind, left all my friends that I made out west, and I watched as the clock rewinds. And if they ask you, won't you tell them? If they ask you, won't you say, I'm going to the place where everybody knows your name. If they ask you, won't you tell them? If they ask you, won't you say, I'm going to the place where everybody knows. I'm going to the place where everybody knows your name.
Memories. When we look back, what do we see? A fiddle handed down through generations. The house your grandfather built with a hammer and his heart. The elm tree where you had your first kiss, or a letter from an old sweetheart. Memories can be hard, but scars are the testament of our resilience. Memories can also be exaggerated, but that only makes for a better story. The same way that art inspires art, we inspire our neighbors. So take heart. Today we have been given the greatest gift, the pen to write tomorrow's memories.
A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you felt the maritimer's heartache, like a buoy floating lonely in the sea? For I know that there's an empty chair and a steaming pot of tea waiting in the Maritimes for me. I am lonely for the crashing of the combers